Right. Well, okay, so I have Janae. She's on the webinar, and you're on the phone. So it's going to be a little interesting because you can't hear each other. So, but I'm going to hit record on this because I know Shanna prefers to do it this way too. So I'm going to record it both as a webinar and as this. Can you hear me, Janae?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So, Kelly, who you can't hear, Janae, she's the one that's writing a book and lives down in northern Utah, just hop, skip, and jump from you. And Janae's my fun gal who sells skirts. Which, you're not in Burley. I always forget which community you're technically in, Janae. I'm sorry.
Paul.
Paul. I know that one's right by there. Why can't I remember that? You both are in tiny little communities. But anyway, have fun things you're doing. So I don't know, Shanna. I usually hear from her, and I haven't heard from her this morning. So I'm guessing that means I know she likes to do a lot of things outside, and the weather's getting so gorgeous. So I have a feeling she might be doing something with horses today. And then Bethany, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and where she does these spa parties, she's in the schools first thing this morning doing a free spa for the teachers this morning. So that's kind of fun. All right. So we're going to talk about my absolute favorite subject, which people think I have lost my mind on. And that's okay. So before we talk about phone calling, though, we'll talk about my next favorite subject, which is overcoming fears. Well, let's do some follow-up real quick on some of your past assignments and see how different things are going. All right, so did any of you use the tracker and add pictures of feelings and words to it? It's kind of a motivational and a visual tool.
No.
Kelly says yes. So let me see if I can put this on speakerphone. If there's any way. Hang on a second.
You didn't tell me what you were watching, okay?
Okay, Kelly. Tell us how you use the tracker in that way.
Well, I've been doing the same tracker every week and then just changing what my short-term goals are, things I need to get accomplished to finish. And then when you said to add pictures, I thought, well, you know, I need to put pictures of not just my short-term goals, but my long-term goals on this, but I can keep those also in there, because right now I've been so focused on just getting these little things done. So I take my tracker and then I just Photoshop basically, you know, just pasted some pictures in. So I pasted a picture of a book that didn't have a cover on it, and then I just wrote my name down at the bottom, and then it says my book, and then my car is falling apart, so I'm thinking if I can make enough money for a down payment on a new car, that's my next goal. And so that one's a little bit further in the future, so I put a picture of the car that I want, and I just put my new car, and then my big one, like who knows how many years down the road it is. My husband and I have always wanted to own a bed and breakfast, so, and I love Italy, so I found this picture of an old Italian villa that's just way cool, and so I put that on there, and it says our bed and breakfast. And it's kind of funny how it kept those things, just seeing those every day when I'm marking off my tracker, how much it's brought, made me think about it in between. Just on random moments, I'll see the picture of my truck that I want, and it's been nice. It's kind of weird how much it actually has made me think more about it.
I love that. Could you hear that, Janae?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I have to admit, I'm not sure where my external microphone on my computer is, so I'm not sure where to put my phone to make it easier for you to hear. So I'm glad you could hear. I don't know where it's at. I know you can hear me, but I don't know where that microphone actually is. So that's cool. And Janae, I know you have your own way of setting goals and keeping yourself organized. So like I said, this is just a tool, not a guilt trip at all. One of the other things that I encouraged was journaling, especially your successes, and when you could see that, you know, things worked out or God helped you through something. Has that been a tool that either of you have used with the journaling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how that's going. I think you journaled before we ever started working together, right, Kelly?
Yeah.
You're a big
Yeah,
journaler.
I just continued doing the same thing, and it's just good because then when I kind of feel blah, I go back and I look at the positive, and then going along with that every day, I try and do my gratitude too. So when I'm feeling really down or discouraged or frustrated, it's nice to change my thought process and think of what I'm grateful for. And it changes my attitude. So.
Amen to that. It is pretty. I don't know. I wonder if there's like some like neurological science behind that when you've taken a few minutes to show gratitude, how like you do feel different.
Probably.
Sure, someone's like scanned the brain before and after, you know, complaining versus showing gratitude. I don't know. There's some endorphin kick that happens, but I don't know. I don't know why. All I know is that's what our spirits seem to thrive on more than the opposite. So cool. Okay, so were either of you able, what was your experience with getting 10 unique no's? What kind of things did you ask for this week that got you out of your comfort zone a little bit?
I had to call and talk to the lady at the bookstore, and because it was a suggestion of my editor to set up a book launch, and that was terrifying. But she never said no. She just was really great. But that was the only thing that I actually had to do something I was uncomfortable with.
Okay. And it turned out well?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, she was very kind because I was extremely nervous, and as soon as she asked me, well, describe your book to me, my mind went blank. I'm like, I don't know. And I was so scared, and she's like, it's okay, you're just fine, just practice on me, you're going to be doing this a lot. And I thought, oh, okay. And so luckily she was like super nice, and so I looked up what my book description is. I could read it to her, and then after that it just kind of went really good, and she actually gave me a lot of really neat pointers and helped me even with other things to set up. So gave me names of other local people to set up book signings with, and
how
and to talk to somebody at the newspaper and stuff. So yeah, so it worked out really good for something I was really anticipating was going to be a negative experience. It ended up being really good, but I was terrified. I was dripping sweat down my back and blood around my armpits after. So
all more power to you. So was this just in Tremonton?
Yeah.
So you called Feldman's?
That was the first step.
You called Marilyn? Did you talk to Marilyn at Feldman's?
Yeah, Marilyn.
Yeah, she couldn't get much nicer. I'm not sure she can kill a fly. She's about as nice as it gets.
Right. She was so kind and so sweet, but
that's so cute.
It's just that I'm not good at promoting myself. I'm not good at trying to, here, look at me. That's way beyond what I'm comfortable with.
But see, that's what we want to do. So these phone calling and asking questions, this is where we're going to get you to a point where you just ask people questions, and if they don't need what you have, you don't have to sell yourself. Only if they need what you have, then you go, hey, by the way, I might have something you might be interested in. You see what I'm saying? So, and, the customers that come into Feldman's are the perfect customers for you to be meeting. So I'm going to teach you. She was a good practice session, so now I'll give you a few more tips. The other thing to learn from your own experience is the fact that you now know you need your description right there in front of you when you call people.
Yep, I wrote down that note. I'm like, next time have the description.
Yep. So make sure.
And have it simplified and easy to memorize.
Well, and it might even be something.
When I'm nervous, I still remember.
Yeah, yeah. And like you could do something like call Mona and practice it on her, or call me and practice it on me. So practice it. So we could role play if you want. Okay.
That is a good idea. I'm writing that down.
Okay, so Janae, did you have some questions like that?
Some questions?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the unique no's, you mean?
Yeah, the no's.
The no's that I really got this week were dealing with Beachbody. People saying no, that they were not interested in my group right now, or no to coaching.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. Of course, you suggested just asking, like, even our kids, and I can't remember. I asked one of the boys something, and I knew I'd get a no, but you know, you said to ask questions, and like one of them, I asked if I could, because I needed a babysitter. I had to be track meet, and I asked if I could pull him out, and he said no. He'd rather stay at school, so. It was something dumb, but you know,
no.
So.
Did you get any surprising yeses?
I did. I actually got some yeses for Beachbody for somebody to join my group, and then I got a yes for a party with close my heart with LuLaRoe.
You don't have 7 children and don't know which phase of your life you're in, do you?
Oh, goodness. So, so yeah.
Yay! Yeah. How's it feeling? Is it getting any more comfortable, or is it still as, like, uncomfortable?
It's getting a little more comfortable. My goal, I don't know if I probably won't do it today because I've got a track meet to run to, but my goal is to call past hostesses and ask if they would be willing to do a party, and I'm going to offer some special if they'll book in May or June, you know, like an extra skirt or 2, something.
Excellent. These questions, today is a perfect thing for you today because we can help reveal needs, and the seasons are changing. Like, we can find reasons for them to do it without you actually having to give them more of your profit. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tell them
the kids can join us. This is a family affair. Okay, excellent. Well done. Well done. I'm so excited for you two because out of the 4 on this call, I would definitely say you 2 are my ones that are a little more naturally uncomfortable with asking some stuff. Bethany will ask anybody anything. So I actually have to kind of rein her back the other way. You're going to ask a few more questions before you ask that. And she'll just laugh when she'll watch this and know what I mean by that. So, but she's actually applying these concepts really well and used it when she was calling these schools to see if she could come and do these spas. And she's like, it was so much more conversational and it went so much better. And, you know, it wasn't that she was scared to call the schools, but now she has a little bit better tool that it just felt different. So that's exciting. Okay, so in regards to fear of failure and fear of success, I'm going to talk just a little bit about fear of failure this morning. This is one of my favorite subjects. One of my favorite books is called Failing Forward. So if you have a good read, it's it gives you lots of hope. It helps you to kind of let go of things that are holding you back. I love this book. And one of the stories in it, it's the coolest story. Okay, so there's this ceramics class, or this pottery class, and the group is split up into, well, the class is split up into 2 different groups. Let's get my mind going here. And one group is told, you will be graded strictly on quantity. We'll literally take all the pots, put them on a scale, and you're going to be graded strictly on quantity of pots. The other group, you're going to be graded strictly on quality. So do whatever you can to make the most perfect pot you can. And so the class goes off. And the quantity people, they get to work. And they start making pots and making pots. And they're spinning and they're making all these pots. The group with the most excellent, supposed to have the quality pot, they start designing and theorizing and discussing and planning, and they make a few and they think and they plan and they do all this stuff. Come the end of the semester, everybody comes back, they weigh the quantity group and then they look at the quality pot. And when it came right down to it and they started comparing pots, the group that did the quantity actually had the better quality pots simply because they had practiced so much and made mistakes. They did. They made lots of mistakes. They learned from those mistakes, and they made this better quality pot. Okay? I believe in this so strongly that there's another theory that's called ready, fire, aim. You said ready, aim, fire, ready, fire, aim. And, you know, you put your gun out there, you shoot at the target, you see where it hits, and you go, okay, this is where I was aiming. Now I know I need to go 2 inches to the left or 2 inches to the right or up a little bit. And that sometimes you just have to fire and make adjustments, which is pretty much what you did, Kelly. You said, okay, I'm going to call Feldman's. I'm going to see how this goes. And she was like this really cooperative target, luckily. And she says, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make this. Yeah. But now you totally learned something from the experience. And you're going to be much better equipped on number 2, and then you're going to be better equipped on number 10 and better equipped on number 25. So that's the exciting thing, is that this gives you, it's like you really can get good at this, and it's totally okay that you make mistakes. Luckily, we have 300 million people in this world, okay? Whoever you're selling to right now, there's another person to sell to if you totally botch it, okay? That's just the way it is. It's not the end of the world. If you had things that cost $1 million and you only sold 3 of them in a year, $1 million accounts, it's a little scarier. But these are skirts and books, and there's a lot of skirts to be sold, and there's a lot of books to be sold, and it's okay. You can just enjoy the process, okay? So any questions on that? Do you understand why I think it's... Well, let me give you one more thing on fear of success. So my son Porter, he had this year, they had taken their school exams, and I'm in Washington. I think every state's a little different. Anyway, this one test they took, they put their scores in our mailboxes, like each family had a mailbox. And so like the kids could see their scores, and they were comparing, and I don't think it was the best way for the school to do it, but whatever. So the kids all knew their scores, I think even before I knew their scores. And they were asking Porter his math score, and he happened to score really well. And they kind of teased him and told him what a nerd he was. Well, for the next year, he decided to be average. And it was like, oh my gosh. And to get him motivated and to quit trying to just appease people and not make anybody uncomfortable, I'm like, really? When you're Donald Trump, you're going to care what Alex thinks? And we had to have this chat, you know, and it's like, come on, Porter. And it took about a year to get over it, though. And so it's one of those things. Both fear of failure and fear of success are real, but you've got to keep in mind what your long-term goals are. And I love how you're putting those on your tracker, Kelly, and how you know what your long-term goals are from more shorter, you know, having your book done and getting your car to the bed and breakfast. And Janae, you're going to have to keep that focus with, you know, the fact you get that week to yourself with your husband and the experience you want to give your kids and those kind of things. And you may have other goals that I don't know about, Janae, but I know that's some of it. So you've got to keep those right in the forefront of your mind when we're fighting through doing stuff that isn't always fun. Okay? All right. So hopefully it helps. Any questions on fear of failure, fear of success? Take a minute to look at chapter 20. It's a fun one to read with your family because you'll learn a lot about them and see which one affects them more, if it's fear of failure or fear of success, and learn something about your kids and your husband. It's kind of fun. Okay, so let's get into the phone calling because this is so fun when you get good at it. So in case you didn't know, phone reluctance is like, they figure out 98% of people have phone reluctance, and if you get over it, you make 400% more than everybody else. This is a huge skill that makes a big difference. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this in the past, but one of the things I really strongly suggest is that you pick 1 2-hour session out of your week, not every day. Once a week, 2 solid hours, make your phone calls. And that would be easier for Kelly than for you, Janae. Janae has 7 kids, 3 or so at home? Mm-hmm. Okay, so she has 3 little people around all the time. Along there are 4 that come and go, and then she does a lot of parties. She's out of the house a lot in the evening. So I know that would be a little bit harder for you, Janae, but it would be interesting to see if there's any chance that, I wonder if in one evening you could make a bunch of phone calls, follow-up phone calls to past customers, and make as much money as you would in one party. Now, I might be wrong, and that you'd have to have like a creative way to send pictures of the different prints in the different sizes. But it's just an idea. It's just a thought. It would be one less night you'd have to pack them up and go. But I think you have quite a few customers. I mean, I see how many followers you have on Facebook. So it's just an idea. Or even, here's another idea, which is off the phone subject. But you know the makeup company that's doing the online parties?
Unique, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you could have a webcam and go around to the different prints and their sizes, it could be for previous customers only, and maybe they get $2 off or something, and you don't have to go to somebody's house and there isn't a hostess. That could even be a unique way to try doing a party. Anyway, I like to brainstorm, so.
Yeah, I've thought about doing a flash sale, and I need to research more about what exactly a flash sale is, but some consultants have done quite well with those. You know, it's just a quick hour or 2-hour party and it's online.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you know, the zebra striped black is gone. Who's gonna, who's gonna take the Aztec purple and green, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and kind of that you can create that sense of urgency, get it now, and if they know what size they are, and that's the thing. After they've worn them and they're excited about them, and plus people will only spend so much of their disposable income with you in one night, but a month later, 3 months later. Or it was, last fall, now it's spring, now I want something new, they'll totally rebuy from you. Yeah. So that's the nice thing about your product. It's not that it's completely consumable, like, a moisturizer or something for your face, but it sort of is. Things wear out, and plus we just like things when the seasons change. So kind of a way to keep you home or maybe spend a few less hours and that kind of thing. All right, so on this phone calling, hopefully you've been doing the first 3 steps. We've been reviewing these. Hi, this is Michelle Withers calling. You have to stop and let them respond and make you feel like you're going to die sometimes. And if it's really long, they go, who? And you go, oh, it's okay, you don't know me. It's just Michelle Withers. And in case I understand that you're a friend to so-and-so's, like I'll get a lot of referrals. So so like I probably said this when I called you, Kelly. I understand you're a friend of Mona's. Oh, yeah. And, so this is a funny thing. I teach these things, and people go, you really do this stuff. And I'm like, well, I would look kind of silly if I didn't, right? And then ask, do you have a quick minute? It's my favorite one versus is this a good time? Did I catch it a bad time? It's the most positive. Seems to be the most effective one is, do you have a quick minute? So, okay, do those 3 consistently with everyone you call, or at least number 1 and number 3. Number 2 is a little weird if it's your mom or someone you know really well. But if they're, if you're more of an acquaintance, just throw that one in to practice so it's rolling off your tongue. The pros and cons here is that Janae's probably going to be making a lot more phone calls than you will, Kelly, but your phone calls mean a lot because you have less events. So you've got to find clever ways to get good at this without, knowing that there's only so many bookstores versus Janae can call 50 ladies in her town. Okay? So, like I say, if you want to role play with me, or I know Mona would totally role play with you. Okay? So in this area down here, this is where you're going to put those questions that you've been writing up based on your product. Okay? So I have to admit, I know I've looked through Janae's. Kelly, you sent me some. I need to go back and remember what you wrote down. But anything from...
I haven't really called anybody yet, so
Okay, if you haven't done these questions that I've suggested you do, 5 to 10 reasons somebody would want your product. Okay, so different ages, different Decide if religions is the right word, but just kids that need motivation, or I'm not thinking off the top of my head very good right now, but I could think of some in a second. Give me a minute. But you know what I mean, right? So tell me a little bit about your readers. You know, what are the age of your readers? What are some of the favorite books that you sell at your store? What do you see is needed? What kind of books would it be nice to have more of in your store? What does it do for you to have a book signing? What's the perks to your store for that? Well, this is what I have to offer. I'd love to come in and fill some of those needs. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm going to need you to write those down. Actually, I'll just listen to this call again and write those down. Those were all really good.
Okay.
That's a lot of the questions that she asked me when we were on the phone call. She wanted to know, did it have morals? Was it a little bit more than just the silly Harry Potter? Or did it have depth? She asked me a lot of those questions.
Perfect. So what you can do is by asking them questions and then you offer that, then you're sounding really on top of it and like someone they can trust. Okay? So if you're looking at your sheet there, underneath the 3 to 5 questions that you're going to ask, so with this, Janae, hi, 3 little people running away from you. Okay, so Janae, if you can think about all the reasons people have parties, okay? Thinking about, hey, you want to have the girls over again? How are your skirts working out? Are you, what kind of things do you usually do when the weather changes? What do you wear more in the spring and summer versus winter? These kind of things to find reasons for people to want more skirts and then possibly have a party. You may not have to bribe them. Okay. Do you see why? Yeah. Because if they have enough reason to want skirts and pay for them themselves, but sometimes when we call someone and they're, if they go shopping, you go to JCPenney looking for clothes, clearly your mind's in clothes mode, okay? If you call them, they're cooking dinner or life's happening and they're not in clothes mode, sometimes you need to help them get in a mode as if they're shopping, okay? What would you be looking for this time of year? What are your favorite colors? Ooh, I have this new one. Let me send you a picture of it. You seem to have so much fun last time having girls over. It's getting skirts for free. Are your daughters, I bet they've grown a lot. Could they use some new skirts? You see what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. So make sure they're open-ended. Some of my questions, I didn't phrase them quite as well as I should have off the cuff like this. But then what you want to find, both Janae and Kelly, you'll see that it says, based on what you've told me, you want to find 3 needs. Okay? So, Kelly, there might be a chance there's a store and they're like, well, I have tons of fantasy for youth. You're going to have to find, if that's not a reason, it'll be the first thing you mention. We're going to find, book signings, oh, that brings more people in. Well, great, this is why I'd love to come do. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So then you repeat back to them what they said. Well, it was really fun to have the girls last time. I love my maxi skirts. It would be nice for some shorter ones for summer. And you can do educational, I call them educational questions. Hey, have you been online and seen our new links and our new styles? No. Okay. Would you, how interested on a scale of 1 to 10 would you be in seeing some skirts in these lengths? And, they tell you and go, great, I'd love to make sure that we make that happen for you. So these are some different ways you can educate them about your new line and still ask a question, believe it or not, Janine. So based on what you've told me, X, Y, Z, you repeat back those 3 needs. Then what we're going to do is go into this what's called an optional close. And an optional close is incredibly powerful. People that have done this, like I've seen research on this, a gal that I learned this from, she found it was actually senior housing, and they had these 2 people making phone calls. And one would say at the end, they'd ask the exact same questions. One at the end would say, so you want to come see it, and the other would say, would you like to Tuesday or Thursday? And the one that did the optional close, well, the one that didn't do the optional close, I think booked like 7. The one who did the optional close Tuesday or Thursday booked more in the 80s. Okay, 80 versus 7. So I would suggest for you, Kelly, saying, you know, I'd love to come do a book signing. I can't see your calendar. I don't know what would work best for you. You know, when you can tell they're engaged and they're interested. Tell me, would the end of May or would June, would either of those months, which one of those would be better for you? They may say, no, that won't work. We need to do it, you know, a different month. But they just automatically start thinking about it. Janae, when you've repeated back that, you know, I hear you want more skirts for spring, your daughter needs some skirts, you love to have the girls over. So what I'd love to do is offer to come and do a party for you in May or June. Which one of those would work better for you? Okay? And you'll see an incredible increase in closings. It's and they might say, no, I can't do it till July, or you still will get a few no's. But most of the time when people give people phone calling systems and other companies, they hope for a yes 1 out of 10. And this usually gives you a yes about 1 out of 3, maybe 1 out of 2. Okay? So the fact of the matter is the phone call lasts just a little bit longer than if we just call, tell them who we are, what company we are, and hit them with it. But because you don't close as many, then you spend more time on the phone by hitting it hard. Then if you take a little bit of time to get to know them, offer what you have, then you're not spending as much time on the phone because you close a much higher percentage. Okay? So do you see how that works, Kelly?
Yeah.
Now, it's going to take some practice. Okay? One of the things I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to do. So, Janae, like you could do this with skirt sales, you could do this with bookings, you could do it with recruiting, you can do it with your Beachbody. Send me a script. What I do is I have a script. I print it out so I can take notes on it. I make sure I have 3 needs before I get to sell and give an optional close. I fill in those blanks, or I'll write 1, 2, 3 next to the things that I see are needs. But have one printed off, have a whole folder of them, so as you're making calls, each person has a different sheet of paper that you've taken notes on. Okay? So if you want to send me your copy, what your questions are, and a couple different optional closes, I can review your questions and your optional closes for you to see if I have any other like tweaks, or sometimes, you know, like the way I say, you know, when I'm meeting somebody new, can I tell you a little bit about this just to see if it's a good fit for you? There's little words like that that I know about that maybe I haven't told you about yet, and I just can't remember that I haven't. So sometimes I can make a few little suggestions and tweaks for you. But really put that on paper. Cut this out. I think I sent you the Word document. Cut out that place for you to insert your own questions. Put down there, you know, delete some of that stuff. Put in a couple optional closes that you know that you could use when you call someone. And if somebody's sitting on the fence, sure, offer another skirt. You don't have to give the same thing for every person. There's nothing in life that's quote-unquote fair. Okay. So you can do what you want. Okay? And if somebody asks about it, says, oh, I'm sorry, that was just for whatever time period she picked the skirt in, or whatever it was. Okay? That was just for repeat customers. That was just for whatever it is. Make something that you don't have to do the same thing for every person. You just don't. So tell me, do you have any questions on how to do this phone calling? Did I go too fast? I know you were kind of distracted, Janae.
No, it's really good. It's just doing it.
Yes. And you know what, Janae? Do it once and text me and tell me how it went. You see what I'm saying? Know that you can like text me and go, oh, it wasn't as bad, or oh, that was really hard, or I got stuck at this place, or you know what I mean? It's like, don't wait 7 days to then, you know, when I could have either encouraged you or cheered with you or helped you tweak one part, you know, after you've done 1 or maybe 3 calls, let me know how it's going. Okay? Totally know I'm here, and I will, you know, unless I'm on a call or something really important, I'll do whatever I can to help you.
Okay.
Okay? So, I mean, sometimes knowing that someone's going to either cry with us or cheer with us after you get done this hard thing, sometimes helpful to just finally do it, because you know that you can have a safety net to help you afterwards. But write it all up, okay? Write it all up, because if you try to remember it on your own, you know, just like your book, How You Froze Kelly.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, write it up and then send it to, and we can role play if you want to, or I'll find someone free to role play with, or role play with your kids or your husband or whatnot. But sorry, the hiccups. But so it will. I'm not going to lie to you. It will feel awkward at first, but it feels a lot better in the end because you're much more authentic. So that's the thing. I'm going to offer a class coming up for just people. Well, I'll probably do it online and people in my community. But there's this whole attitude that if you call it sharing, you know, you're meeting people, you know, like a Mary Kay person or, you know, whatever product it might be. I think if they call it sharing, as soon as they meet people, they say, hey, can I show you my product? But I love my product, so it means I'm sharing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's still coming off pushy. Like, get to know the person first. See if there's anything you can fill. If you have good questions to ask, you don't have to come off like that. We all feel people's sales walls come up. But when people get comfortable with us because we've shown that we're interested in them, which we are, it's just most people don't have good questions to ask to then show that they are interested. I mean, I'm sure you do care about these bookstores. I'm sure you do care about your customers, Janae, and do want them to feel good, whether it's the weight loss or it's the clothing. Either way. So just keep your do the questions, and you will feel more authentic, and you won't get that burnout because you're feeling like a salesperson all the time. So it really does help. It's kind of fun because I still remember doing all these parties, and I had earned a big title and a cruise and whatnot, and I started doing this instead. And I had people going, wow, you're not pushy at all, and yet my sales were doubling. And it was just like, holy cow, this is crazy. So it's just fun because it's not about convincing, it's about listening, and based on what they said, oh, let me offer you this. You know, and you'll have somebody you call Janae, and their life's in turmoil, and you will listen, you'll be a friend to them, and it was not the time to have a skirt party. And that's okay. But maybe you needed to call them because they needed a friend right then. So it all, what goes around comes around. It all works out. It's totally cool. Now, okay? All right. So the sooner you write up the sheet, the sooner I can review it for you. Okay? So send it to me. Get those questions. I mean, Janae, I know you have lots of good, solid questions. Put that in, put a couple optional closes, shoot it off to me, and let me review it for you, okay? And then let me know when you start practicing it. And Kelly, you need to work on your questions a little bit, and let me know if you need some help with them. Then read that chapter either on your own or as a family, chapter 20. It's really fun. Because fear of failure and fear of success, we all need it in different places of our lives. So it's a real fun one. You'll enjoy it. Oh, your assignment on that is, I was trying to remember, look at my book here, to take something that you feel like was quote-unquote a failure in your life and put down what you learned from it and what still good came out of it, and how you like can see that you survived failing and that it's okay to take some risks. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, this has been a fun phone call. Keep working on your trackers and journaling and doing those little things. Janae, I'd like to check in with you and see. I know that you're trying to figure out if this is really kind of a what you want to be when you grow up. Not quite that, but this was the best way for you to fulfill the goals that you had. How are you feeling about that right now?
I don't know. I'm still pushing forward. I had another gal sign up, so I'm at that's 2 directly under me. So I'm working it, and I'm going to push through until cruise qualification is over, and then really just schedule my hours and say I am only doing parties on these days and make it work for my family.
Cool.
So,
excellent.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, there was a Beachbody last week came out with a policy that's supposed to take effect July 1st that may be forcing my decision one way or the other. They will not allow any coach to be affiliated with any other multi-level or direct sales business.
Why is that?
So they want their coaches to represent just Beachbody. They don't want customers confused. So they said, like, even I wouldn't be able to host a party for a friend if I chose just to do Beachbody. So does that make sense?
You couldn't host a party for a friend selling something else?
Yeah, selling something else. If, say, I had a friend that did Scentsy, I wouldn't even be able to do a party for her.
Oh, that's bad practice, because what goes around comes around.
So I did hear, though, that the board just blew up when that came out, because I mean there's a bunch of people that have signed up to coach, but they just want the discount. They're not working it for a business. They just want the discount. So that rule would even apply to those people. Anyway, so I don't know. It may change, and it may force me to choose one or the other. And right now, LuLaRoe is definitely profitable for me. So. Right.
Well, and is there any chance that you'll be before the rule was made or anything like that?
It didn't sound like it.
Just that kind of bites.
Yeah. So right now I'm sticking with LuLaRoe and working for the cruise and working on training the gals under me, and we'll see. Because the thought of making, like right now, I stand to make an additional $400, just for being there, really, and helping them kind of learn the ropes. So
cool. So your gal in Idaho that is trying to figure it out. Do you think it's a good time for me to give her a call and see if she's interested in this kind of training, or is it not quite the right time for her yet?
The one in Idaho Falls?
I think so. Isn't that who we talked about before?
The consultant under me?
Yeah. Didn't she also do Play Hard or something like that? Was that the story?
Yeah. I'm not sure. She was sounding extremely overwhelmed. She works 2 jobs, she's going to school, and then she started this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
okay. She might need some help defining her goals.
Yeah. So I can talk to her and see, see if she would be interested, and I can get her number.
Well, and you can, all you gotta do is just ask her if she would just be willing to talk to me and share a little bit, there's this training that's helped, if you want to tell her the success you've had with it, and, would you really want me to just talk to her to see if it's helpful with all the different jobs and school and,
Yeah.
It does help all areas of your life, usually. Depends on how you choose to apply the principles. But anyway, okay. Well, let me know. Either way is cool. Just throwing that out there.
Hey.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording here.
stop conference recording. This session is no longer being recorded.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for being on a call today. Please let me know what questions you have, or if there's anything I can do for you. Send me your call sheets as soon as you can, so I know exactly how I can help you with that. And get on the phone. You're gonna have fun with it. So call and practice with Mona Kelly. She'll love it. She will. She'll totally love it. So.
I will. I'll make her help me.
Yeah.
She'll with me, not at me.
No,
she.
Yeah, she'll totally laugh with you, not at you. Mona's awesome. So cool. All right, awesome. Well, Janae, if you need any more time later to chat more about the decision you're making, if you feel good about it, or whatever you want to do, let me know. If even you just need a wall to vent at to help you regroup and stay on. Sometimes we just need a vent. We still want to keep going, and we just need to release some steam.
No, I understand. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, ladies. Have an amazing day. Please let me know what I can do for you, okay?
Thank you.
You bet. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.